Hello, Aries. Welcome to your timeless love variant reading where we discuss however love may be absent or present in your life. Or you may just be here because you caught a vibe and seeing whether or not anything within the storytelling time is yours. Please bear in mind a few details while we get ready for your reading. I am Master Seventh, aka Seventh, that reads these energies for you should you want to know who she is, what she's all about, and what I have to offer. Her details can be found in the description box below. Bear in mind that I am a master healer that provides remote wellness and or tarot intuitive insights. There are other various links within the description box to help you navigate this channel and gain access to my sister channel. For this reading, may provide you universal justice should Aries be in your sun rising and or Jupiter position. If there's anywhere else that you're aware of or just in general may benefit, you may be in search of emotional redemption, where I will ask you to check out my sister channel, link via the description box, for timeless content over there. Alright, Aries. Remember, this is not a one-to-one reading. However, this is a general collective reading. Use your discernment to take all of that which belongs to you and leave the rest behind. Alright, strong energies already. Okay, starting off with a death card. Approaching that energy is the Knight of Swords. This has a lot to do with the alchemy of the energies in the air. So, I think so you are trying to be put in a certain path. You're not really putting yourself there. Ether is almost also not putting yourself there. It's kind of like just the flow of what is. It's not really thought about. It's not really to like dissect, to try to understand. Kind of things are the way they are. And in that confusion, I think that's the element of air coming through with the Knight of Swords, testing you whether or not you can it's very hard to explain. More or less build a better relationship with yourself. There is a sense of personality that maybe you as your own there's a knowing within Aries energy that comes across of being annoyed with themselves. Like there's something within your personality, maybe ego, maybe character, maybe an environment that you're just like, oh, fuck off already. I'm so annoyed by this. And you know you're referring to yourself, and you're not arrogant, nor are you trying to remain ignorant on the topic. It's just like becoming annoying at the constant awareness of the annoyance, and then realizing it's your own bullshit. So it's kind of like, fuck, I don't know how to get out of this energy kind of vibe. I don't know what it is that I want kind of vibe. I don't know what it means to settle. I don't know what it is that I'm longing or yearning for. I don't know what my spirit is trying to tell me. What does it mean to have a spiritual relationship with myself, and that of which is deemed as possible spirituality? Like there's a lot of like outcry, but being internal. Yeah, outcry with a judgment. All right, wanting to, in a very secretive underlining. This is a very secretive underline. This is hidden behind Aries' ego. This is not something that you easily talk about. There's actually maybe no way that you know how to talk about it, because you know how to feel within the energy, but the feeling is such a big void of space that you don't know the circumference area of the plane of field of what you have to operate with. And when you don't know what you're operating with, I think that's when Aries feels like there's loss of control of some kind. And the moment you feel like there's not a control aspect that you should gain control of, I think there's a personality within that, or energy force, let's put it that way, that is like now pricking at you to come to an analysis of some kind. And this is a mixture of like light and dark energy, all right? Like you understand in more ways than one what faith could mean in your life, and conversations you can have about that and how it applies to your certain decision making or non decision making. Or you can understand the blasphemous outcries that the world has to offer, that is a hard level of truth pill to swallow, and it's no one size fits all situation, and you have understanding for that too. It's, I think, both sides of like where Libra would come in and is the scale of justice, for it's the only object of the zodiac sign. You are becoming more or less that Libra quality of your self-awareness of the scale, and weighing the odds and evens towards where your heart resides and the feather. And then realizing not to get caught when somebody asks you a question of what weighs more, 100 pounds of heart or the 100-pound of feather. That's not a trick question. I do see someone having gone in and out with, like, some having to do with, like, in and out of the hospital. They've been on a very long healing journey, and I do see, if there were many webbings where you felt like they're dead ends or they're losses or not not opportunistic, I feel them like narrowing down with these energies and kind of circling in what is going to land up in your lane. It's like either trying to shuffle through here and kind of filter and literally put an end to non-existing vibrations. So more or less you may not even understand that a world of your own ethereal space is falling off or falling away or becoming dissected in some way or another. You're not really meant to feel that. You're meant to experience the outcome of the best case scenario of both bookends of situation, whether you're practicing faith or gratuitous, or you're incorporating your shadow self and learning how to dance with them. Like you're bringing your ultimate versions of higher maturity, sense of high vibrational self-acknowledgement to that approach of self-analysis. Okay, and I think this has a lot to do with those of you who are returning or have maybe dabbled in my channel. I don't know where you are in the spectrum and the algorithm war that I'm also going through at this time, of how much you have been part of this channel's quote-unquote past energies of Aries readings and have been inundated with Virgo energy, where it's been not interested in targeting the individual Virgo in your life, if that were to resonate, but yet more so the self-analytical processes that Virgo more or less takes the cake in, and applying that to self without getting in that notion or getting triggered to try to accept that situation and being upset that you're triggered. That you more or less just allow it to happen. And I think you're slowly becoming more acceptable for non-argumentative discussions that include your emotional availability and desire to learn, to be sensitive, to be aware, and to be nurturing of others. Whoa. All right, Queen of Swords with the Five of Wands. There's a lot of political energies happening within the family dichotomy of what it means for you to be in a family dichotomy. Um, Whatever that may mean for you, but the term family is convoluted, all right? Whatever that means biologically, existent, non-existent, that type of chaos, okay? I say chaos because it's chaotic. The only way that you see calmness within this is, again, where the universe is kind of filtering all the bullshit that you may or may not be aware of, that it's being filtered out. And more on the side of you're not aware, because of the death card and a judgment, not really really taking the cake on not caring whether or not you become really aware of this journey and the lessons that it has to offer. It's more of like continue striving forth and speaking your convictions, your feelings, and your viewpoints, and more or less understand that there is an appeal to you speaking your truth, because you are a queen where other people are trying to figure out their role and their placement in their own life or in other people's lives. So yeah, I mean, I think the flip side of the situation is that you do have someone that you can more or less depend on in your life, or on the horizon. Yeah, this individual is maybe not as spiritually mature in ways that you are. However, this person brings an intriguing flair of an intellect in social situations that make you feel comfortable and maybe opening up again. I do see that this is a person that's very influential in your social setting, like getting you to go outside and be active outside, go on adventures, chasing happy hour, laughter, maybe a good movie. Like, this is very friend energy first before it would become into a romantic type of interaction, which is almost, it's a very interesting pace for Aries, because I think before you wanted to go at a faster rate, and now there is still steadfast speed, but it's speed coming at you, Aries, rather than you going to it. So that might feel a bit strange. All right, yeah, so this energy is not you, although it's Aries, fire sign, okay? And it's this fast energy of more fire energy, making its steadfast delivery towards King of Wands, right? Which again then would be your element. You're the ringleader of the zodiacs, really getting the beginning stories and stages of emotional intellect started, okay? And this energy is wild and sexy and daring and courageous and ready to fight and just really ready, willing, and able. And, I do see a lot of likeness, but I do see the person that's coming in or around a bit guarded. To where you are not Aries. Again, there's a lot of maturity coming across from your end. And whatever this cycle is perpetuating for itself in this Wheel of Fortune of ways, it's really about the viewpoints of how you both communicate with each other after having had an adventure. Okay, it's like having a conversation after the movie, having the conversation after happy hour. Like, there is a sense of wanting to understand if the connection is what you feel it could lean into becoming, if you have moments of time of conversation and expression of deep honesty that cover the truth of the moment that both of you just experienced, and all those people and places or situations involved in creating that memory. This person is also a very memory chaser, I'm hearing. It's very cute. All right, they're very hands-on and making it a fun time to like pinpoint memories. I do see a bit of like blinding light. Yeah, I saw that little dark cloud. Okay, the tower. Why is the tower here? Well, I think it has a lot to do with two opposites coming together and really shaking up old away from new, while the new is the old that hasn't had a chance to fortify itself because of all the distraction that was quote unquote labeled original. And you know, this connection more or less has a very infectious tone to it. So I think that's why the tower is embracing its ability to be monumental without necessarily always caring whether or not you feel bad about the situation or if you feel good about the situation. The tower is just going to keep on being a beautiful tower. And it's also then subjective whether or not you think that's beautiful, right? And, you know, with an energy like that, you're more or less going to be like, maybe not so beautiful. I mean, I think common sense is trying to say that people falling out of a building is not very, like, comical. Okay, it's not very nice. All right, we have the High Priestess with the Four of Cups. So, yeah, I think the Tower really wants to individualize how personal the universe is with you. It's, I'm getting like emotional. Like, the universe is very. It's easy to be very angry with the universe because it's easy to blame the universe. It's easier to blame something that will never really show up or just decides on its own whim when it wants to. So it's like, all right, whatever, fuck you too, you know. And then there's moments when you lean in, you're like, I see what you're trying to do. It don't mean I like it, but I see what you're trying to do. And that's where the Tower becomes interesting of a perspective, to be like, it don't look so pretty, but I see what you're trying to say. I see what you're trying to say. Yeah, I was present in the conversation you and I had. Yeah, I heard you. But the problem is with having a conversation with you, universe, is that I only hear myself talking out loud. So it's like, you know, hello. All right, so the universe is making sure that relationships moving forward for Aries includes vulnerability and sensitivity, because universe is going to kick your ass internally to make sure that externally you deliver your honesty. Like, fuck, your truth could be you love purple and my truth could be orange. That's two truths that are very different from one another. It doesn't mean that the truth is that I hate orange or whatever the color is. But the point is, people can have different truths that are very valuable to them, and you can have their whole validation of resume as to why that color is their truth or why that situation is their truth. And we can call it facts, and we can put a trend on algorithm, put a hashtag, quote unquote, pound signal in front of that, right? And it becomes its own little thread of existence. Yeah, just because that world was validated in them liking that color doesn't mean it takes away from my world loving my color or my respect for that color, just because it doesn't maybe show up in my world of color. Like, those are two truths living very independently from one another in a pretty harmonious level of tone, right? It's like almost like a, well, duh. If you don't like orange, you don't have to fuck with orange. If I don't like pink, I don't have to fuck with pink. Cool. Well, it should be like that with everyone and everything. You know? I might not like this, I might not like that, but you do, and that's cool, you know? Anyway, I think the point of the morale of that is that people can have different truths, and they're still struggling with honesty. And I think the universe is going to make it a bit more louder internally for you to understand what these internal emotions that may have brought you here into this reading are trying to actually teach you. But that this reading cannot bring you the emotional redemption that you may have thought you would receive getting through this point. But it more or less is in the bubble of universal justice, because it's cunning and doesn't quite care or is concerned about coddling feelings or making the feelings ring true. That's where the sister energy of her gets a bit more kumbaya. All right, putting the cards away. I guess that's it, Aries. I'm wishing you a wonderful morning, noon, or night, wherever you are in the ether, this time and space. And may you keep flowing, growing, and glowing.